Hey Honeybunches, it is a Wednesday. Today I have a bit of nannying this afternoon. I have a commissioned birthday cake to finish. It's actually, I love when this happens. It's just the recent chocolate peppermint mousse cake. When people ask me for like a birthday cake, I say like anything specific in mind, and then I just tell them the things I've made recently that were really good, and more often than not they pick one of them, which is kind of fun because like the after party of making a recipe. That's so lame, but whatever. Yesterday my dad went back to Canberra. He was here for a long weekend for the first time in like 6 months. That was really good. He'll be back soonish for like 6 weeks over Christmas, but obviously it was very lovely to see him. Yesterday I was in the car and I was driving along just listening to the radio, and they had like a package of interviews with people who had just flown into Brisbane airport in Queensland after the border has been lifted, so lots of reuniting, and I was just getting really like, well, it was sort of emotional listening to people, even though it was very cheesy, but I think I find the audio form a bit more emotional than the visual form, which has like the surf lifesavers going welcome, but just like, I mean, I know it's not just an Australian thing, but the way they were saying it was like, ugh, everyone was like minimizing how hard it had been not seeing family for so long, and like there was a mum who was flying into Brisbane to see her mum, and her new 3-month-old was with her, so she like had a baby, you know, during lockdown and stuff, and everyone was just minimizing how hard it was, but they're also, it was just really like annoying actually. It's kind of like, well, this is why. It might seem innocent, but I feel like even on that level, just minimizing or not feeling like you can say how hard it's actually been just all contributes to stigma and mental health not being taken seriously, or is a byproduct of it. It's all connected, and I'm a bit grumpy about mental health not being taken seriously because I just had a fresh experience of, you know, that being the case with a healthcare practitioner. Anyway, also libraries are now open. Hallelujah. Yeah, last night I added like, I don't know, the max amount of reservations you can add to your account. It was so fun. Anyway, on Monday I went to a library, and in the news section they had this book, which I haven't heard of, but it looks incredible, by an Australian writer talking about invisible illness. I think the writer has endometriosis, but you know, more often than not mental health is an invisible illness as well. That's just the connection. I'm reading a lot lately. Hi, by the way. Bit of a chaotic entry. I'm Phoebe if you're new, and I need a haircut. In one of the last vlogs where I was, maybe it was a Patreon vlog, can't remember, I was talking about how reading, I just really want to binge some stuff and feel the pleasure in it again, and I totally have. I've kind of read like 6 books in 2 weeks already, borrowed a lot of books from the library, and been lucky and found some gems that I've wanted to read in op shops. I feel like I'm getting good at tuning my radar when I'm in a bookshop and I'm thinking of buying a book. I feel like my radar for like going, that would be good and I want to read it, but it's definitely in the bookshop category. For example, I've wanted to read Big Little Lies, found that in an op shop, $1, bargain, love it. Love the mini-series of this, so I thought would want to read that one day. Also found it in an op shop. And then, this was like the best find, because I was in a library and my friend borrowed it. Marlo, you know who you are. I found it in a op shop the next day. Score! So I have so much reading potential ahead of me, and it's very motivating. My current read, ridiculously pink book that I showed you in my birthday vlog, which I have enjoyed. It is cheesy, but it does some nitpicky things really right, which means it's not like corny, you want to bin it, it's just like absorbable cheesy and like smarter cheesy. Anyway, but I'm really feeling the momentum with reading. Use your words, Phoebe. And my point is that that book has felt like this exercise I remember distinctly doing, like when you were learning to write in, I don't know, grade 2 or 3, and the teacher said, I want you to write non-stop for like 20 minutes, and if you don't, I want to see always pen to paper, and if you don't know what to write, just write, I don't know what to write. And so I feel like this book is like me sort of stalling between more meaningful reads, but it's not stalling, it's actually kind of recharging, and it's just like a pause, but I'm still reading and just keeping that momentum going till I get on to the next thing. In simple terms, it's light reading that's keeping that muscle going and slightly recharging me, while I then read something a bit more heavy. The lawn was mowed this morning, which might seem like the most dull thing ever, but it makes the backyard look so much better. This is a hot spot. Hey everyone, I'm just doing what I do most Wednesdays, which is take the dog that's in the backseat for a long walk and then chill out and read for 2 hours while the girl I nanny does a sewing class. I know, I nanny someone who does a sewing class. Anyway, I'm glad I changed into shorts because even though it's only been 16, it's so toasty and I look like an idiot in a turtleneck. Anyway, could have a worse view. This is Harry the black schnauzer. That's him. And now we shall go for a walk. Come on.
Back to the good times, back when all the stars were aligned, before all the paperwork got signed. Oh, it's like a straight shot to the backyards and the vacant lots, to the very chambers of my heart, to the part of town that even you seem to have forgot. And now it's just a short ride over to the east side. It's where my true love still resides. Oh.
we're back in the car after a lovely walk. Such a nice day, although it was a bit too windy for one of my ears. But Harry was being super smoochy. Now my favourite bit, while he snoozes, I get to read. So I finished my book, It's Been a Pleasure, Noni, which I would recommend if you want something bingeable, if you want to like all the characters and just like the story, but also it to be really fast paced and it to be unexpected. The advice that her friends give her sort of feels like just chatting with friends. It's a book that's set in Australia, yet you're not cringing the whole time. And the main character is bi and not just a stereotypical slender body, so that's refreshing. She makes good choices, shuts the toxic people out of her life, although the cringy bit is that it's like, I'm just doing what feels good, I'm just doing what do I want to do? And so she leaves her teaching job in Australia and goes to the UK. Massive cliche, we can forgive her, but it's a book where there's no outside world, very few obligations to the outside world, there's no like news cycle, a lot of freedom of where to go, so it feels like it's, you know, from a parallel universe, considering the one we've been accustomed to being in this year. But yeah, it was a fun read. Anyway, this is a book I borrowed from the library and I'm gonna tuck into.
Je te laisserai des mots en dessous de ta porte, en dessous de la mur qui charme tout près de la place.
Well, they look lovely. A bit hard to photograph or show you on camera because the camera only wants to focus on the green world beyond. I don't blame it. And we barely close those blinds because it just looks out onto a very private area, so that'll be nice when it gets dark and we'll have our twinkly fairy lights and stuff on. I got the inspiration to do that from Maslen. Her YouTube and Instagram is Good Eatings. Who's in Sweden. Yeah. I am going to go plant out some more sunflowers and some cosmos. There's a raspberry plant I got given for my birthday that needs to go out, and a lavender plant. So just a little bit of chill, fun gardening, which will hopefully help me warm up. I've worn optimistically warm weather clothes for a mild day. Talking to Mum before that just the year of lockdowns during the colder weather has meant that all my winter clothes, point being that all my like long pants and jeans and like anything that's remotely warm, I've sort of worn as you'd wear loungewear. So it just doesn't look top notch, like it's lost a lot of shape. And anyway, I'm kind of feeling like I'm outgrowing a lot of things lately, so I might do a very harsh Marie Kondo, get a crazy haircut. I do suspect I really do need glasses though, and I will head to the optometrist soon. But just being unwell as well, and that totally affecting not my relationship to food. Well, in a way, yes. The amount of joy I get from it has been totally stripped away. I said to my doctor the other day that diet that you're meant to be on, while you take the medication to treat what I'm treating, I said it's an eating disorder without an eating disorder. You're limiting when I can eat, how much I can eat. You're suddenly creating this whole good food, bad foods concept in your mind, and literally every food that you've known to be healthy is suddenly a bad food, and that's not even foods that are like bad foods, not that there are any bad foods. And I was trying to say this in a way that was like, this is an awful thing to prescribe someone, and especially someone as my I'm not really quite good at going off at someone and then them making them feel they've been whatever. She just turned it into something that she like dodged what I was saying. And then she agreed, like, yeah, it is an eating disorder without an eating disorder. I'm like, but then it's awful. Like, just, why is this a thing? Yeah, food can be medicine at some times, but just a heads up or acknowledgement on her behalf that it is essentially like this and you need to be on top of it. And I don't know, I'm just furious on account for like everyone else in the world, and all the people have IBS and people are told to go on the low FODMAP diet, and it just makes me so angry. People's relationship to food is just left, right and bloody centre. I should probably do that again because I know some people watching this shouldn't hear those words. I guess I'm just frustrated in the realization that even from medical professionals, that was an avenue of influence I hadn't encountered that can really mess up people's relationship to food. And I'd be more focused on like media and social pressures, body image pressures, and just naively, blindly, innocently thought that medical professionals wouldn't be, it's not that they're like as bad, but they're just sort of blindly facilitating it.
Once a day pill for skin. Anyway, what do I do about my phone, baby? I don't know, but we're going outside. Come on! I have a good idea how to get them.
Come on, outside. Just took Nelson for a divine evening walk. Gosh, I love that boy. And not to disrespect dogs of different sizes, but it feels so good to just walk with a dog that has a lot of dog. My love for him just keeps expanding. Today I finished my book, Show Me Where It Hurts, and this is probably going to be one of my favourite books of the year. I say favourite with a because it's a really hard read, and I don't know that I read it at quite the right time when I'm getting on top of some health problems that I'm petrified of becoming chronic. It's about invisible illness. She was based in Melbourne and Adelaide, so it was very Australian context. If you've read any sort of gender theory books by Clementine Ford, Boys Will Be Boys or Fight Like a Girl, this isn't gender theory, but the way she breaks it up, each chapter, as well as sharing her own experience, she's linking it to pop culture and representation of mental health, invisible illnesses, endometriosis, which is what she has. It really hit a chord with how, and was quite frightening. Just, I think we can sort of be a bit complacent and think in Australia that our healthcare is like really good, because in comparison to the UK and the US, it obviously is. I'm just going to close the window. We're so privileged with the healthcare we have access to, but when it comes to more complicated chronic conditions and especially invisible illnesses, and especially for women when there's pain involved, there's a lot about that in the book, that women are far less likely to be believed and have to wait so much longer to get pain relief than men. And at the top of that awful waiting time is black women. But yeah, in Australia we still have the problem that exists everywhere about not being believed, not getting the help you need, having to do the exhausting work of shopping around for someone who takes you seriously, who's with you for the long haul, and will be emotionally sensitive. I have my own mini furies about that. We probably all do. Such a good book. I'm so glad I picked this up. This was just on a whim. I just put this book on my reservation list at the library. I thought it was like 3 times bigger. It's like a Urban Outfitters book. It's just like a little guide of things to do on challenging mental health days. And I didn't really learn anything. And look, I've read this in like an hour and a half. Nothing was very new, but it did sort of remind me of 2 things which I needed to be reminded of, so I'm glad I read it. First one is how helpful it is to do something external. So looking back to Walking Nelson, my whole focus is on him, on making sure he's happy and giving him as much love and attention and affection as I can so his days are the best days in his short life. And just that focus takes me off how my digestive system is feeling, the whole state of the world, what I'm going to be doing next year. I'm just going to change the settings, these are really yellow. Just all worries, and puts you entirely in the present. And I'm someone who has a lot of pen pals. I love dropping off food to people. I would consider it a small hobby. I mean, I have often, when I'm recipe testing and stuff, a lot of spare food surplus, so there is a need as well as just a desire, but I love doing that. Just putting things together for other people. It makes me feel good, and not just because I know it's like a nice thing to do, but I think it is about that it's just something, it gets you out of your own head, and that helps for your mental and physical health. But the other thing was, I didn't know this, that in the morning your body releases cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which is why if you wake up and you've got something you're perhaps nervous about, or you didn't sleep that well, for some reason you're anxious or stressed, you can feel extra anxious and stressed in the morning. And that really resonated with me, because while if I've got a chill day, my mornings are just, you know, lovely. If I've got to do something that's a bit stressy, the morning is like, ugh, I feel gross like as soon as I wake up. But it's just a reminder to put one foot in front of the other, because it is a hormonal thing happening in your body, and you've just got to power through, and that will come down and you will be able to see a bit more sense. Anyway, I didn't need to read this, but I'm glad it brought those 2 things to my attention. Hey Honeybunches, apologies I haven't really vlogged today, although I'm not apologising because possibly the best news ever happened today. I can't believe it. It's not set in stone 100%, but it pretty much is. You can probably guess what it is, but I'm not going to say it till it happens and you'll see it. So a lot of organising of that happened today. Yeah, it really hasn't sunk in, whatever that news is. You may have noticed I'm more myself, just changing topic slightly. Probably appear much happier than I did in whatever the last vlog was, maybe my birthday one. I am feeling on the up, and feeling heartened by slowly but surely being able to eat more things and not facing awful repercussions, so that's filling me with a lot of hope. And I think there just is so much to be said for it's so much easier to do health promoting behaviours when you have the energy. I've been really proactive and booked a lot of appointments for things that I've been putting off or been too nervous to do in the last day. And even if it's booking an appointment for something in like 3 months' time, and it's a bit stupid because I am feeling like too chuffed with myself for some things when they haven't happened yet. Just the booking in, I'm like, yes, I'm feeling the effects already. Is that just me? Psychologist appointments at least. Even though in the past, if I'm honest, I've only gone to one of them, or the minimum amount recommended to like settle in, and then I've hated it. So still on the search for one that will work for me. Anyway, doing a few things like that that I've been procrastinating about, coupled with Nelson staying, rediscovering how wonderful it is to have like an outward focus and feeling that immense privilege of getting to share a life with another four-legged creature. You can probably guess what the news is. And just remembering and just enjoying how in the moment it makes you when you're with a dog. So those cookies I made were off the charts good. They're called double ginger cookies, I think, from this Awesome Vegan Life blog, and they're gluten-free and they're terrific. They have uncrystallized ginger in them, which I don't really know how that's different to crystallized, maybe just a bit less sugar, but it's, you know, still chewy, and has a tablespoon of dried ginger and a tablespoon of cinnamon. And the first bite you're like, ooh, a bit on the spicy side, but then you adjust and it's just heaven and better than gingerbread. They were fab. I might incorporate them in some Christmas presents. So I might end this video here, but I just want to say I don't think it's sensible for me to do Vlogmas. I tried doing it. I don't want you to go back and watch these videos because they're cringy, but I tried doing it the first year, and yes, I was trying to do it with like the heaviest camera alive, but I've just, you know, daily vlogging, I just can't be present and live my life presently because my head's always, I have very overactive noggin, and it will just be thinking about that and whether it's interesting to the vlogs I'm making. Oh, that's what's wrong with the camera. Ah, yeah, my camera is getting a bit crappy, this one. Anyway, yeah, so because daily vlogging is a detriment to my mental health, I'll be doing weekly vlogs, which I think I did last year. That was fun. I know I've been chatting on this video, but last night I was just having a nostalgic flick through Emily Von New's This Awesome Vegan Life blog, because she was one of the first that I sort of was like, whoa, photography, vegetables, so gorgeous, in my early vegan days. And it was very interesting to read her reflections on how she had an undiagnosed eating disorder for the first 5 years, which is not surprising, but she is sort of handling that with a lot of grace, which I do admire. But it just got me thinking how she's someone who has been posting recipes and having her blog for a long time. Inevitably, as you grow up, you change, and therefore your content does not remain the same. And I think when I've had the most views or whatever, it's been when not that I ever want to post mainstream content, but it has been when I've been posting stuff that is, at least title-wise, more in keeping with videos you see elsewhere on YouTube in the vegan realm, which isn't really me, and I moved away from that, so I don't really have the same community that I once had, and I think it's changed a bit, but I don't know what I'm saying here, just that if you're still here, I really appreciate it, and it's really nice having this community, and I know we're all busy bees, and I'm the worst at commenting after watching a video, even if I'm like, yes, oh, that's like this, you know, interacting in my head with content that I watch. I don't always write it down in a comment or something, but I've made lots of friends through this and always love reading your comments if you ever decide to leave one and you've never commented before. I've got a few different things planned for the remainder of the Vlogmas videos, and there will be some other videos dispersed in between, all going well. But if you've made it this far, I just wanted to say I would like to do another Q&A video, so leave your questions below. Thanks for watching. Bye.